During Thursday night's debate, former President Donald Trump put on an awful performance. He took personal credit for the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. He claimed immigrants are being put up in fancy hotels and are killing U.S. citizens at a rate never before seen. Also claimed that migrants are stealing Black and Hispanic jobs, whatever that means. He bragged about assassinating Iranian General Soleimani, which nearly provoked a war with Iran. He boasted that he could bring back American hostages around the world at cheaper, discounted prices compared to Joe Biden. He defended his decision to pull the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accords. At one point, he had to utter the words, "I did not have sex with a porn star," even though everyone knows he did. And in one of the most shameful parts of the debate, Trump used Palestinian as a pejorative, attacking Biden for being a bad Palestinian because he's standing in the way of Israel finishing the job in Gaza, which is not true at all, and suggests Trump would give even more free rein to Israel to conduct its genocide.
Israel's the one that wants to go. He said the only one who wants to keep going is Hamas. Actually, Israel is the one, and you should let him go and let him finish the job. He doesn't want to do it. He's become like a Palestinian, but they don't like him because he's a very bad Palestinian. He's a weak one.
Just gross as hell, along with all the other stuff I mentioned that Trump did. And yet, somehow, he still won the debate. Because the current president is clearly spent. Biden is cooked. He delivered one of the all-time worst performances in debate history, a spectacle of decline that immediately sent panic across the entire Democratic Party. At some points in the debate, Trump almost couldn't even believe what a gift he was given by Biden's performance.
Continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either.
Making sure that we continue to strengthen our healthcare system, making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. With dealing with everything we have to do with. Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
While Trump lied and lied and lied, Biden struggled to give coherent answers on every question he faced. It was hard to watch at times. The president did save his most spirited back and forth for Trump when the two men argued about whose golf game is better. Another moment in the debate that left the country collectively asking itself, what the fuck are we doing here?
Look, I'd be happy to have a driving contest with him. The reason I got my handicap, which when I was vice president, down to a 6. But by the way, I told you before, I'm happy to play golf if you carry your own bag. Think you can do it?
That's the biggest lie. He's a 6 handicap of all.
I was an 8 handicap.
Yeah.
8.
Never.
But I have, how many?
I've seen you swing. I know you swing.
Hey, let's not act. President Trump, we're going to
let's not act like children.
Okay, honestly, as a country, we probably deserve this. Anyway, Democratic lawmakers, party operatives, media lapdogs, donors, all of them are coming to the realization that leftists came to long ago. The goal is to beat Trump, then Joe Biden must be replaced. Party officials are talking to any reporter they can about it. Practically the entire New York Times editorial board is calling on Biden to step down now. And it was the main topic of discussion across news networks after the debate.
Now, as we speak, there is a deep, a wide, and a very aggressive panic in the Democratic Party. It started to the debate, and it continues right now.
The freak out, the collective freak out from Democrats is at the highest level you can imagine. The response tomorrow is going to be very important to watch, especially from Democratic leaders about what happens next. Remember, he is not officially the nominee until the convention in August. So there will be conversations about this.
I love that guy. That's a good man. He loves his country. He's doing the best that he can. But he had a test to meet tonight to restore confidence of the country and of the base, and he failed to do that. And I think there's a lot of people who are going to want to see him consider taking a different course now. We're still far from our convention, and there is time for this party to figure out a different way forward if he will allow us to do that.
He had one thing he had to accomplish, and that was reassure America that he was up to the job at his age. And he failed at that tonight. Now, does that mean that my phone blowing up with senators and campaign operatives and donors, big donors from all over the country, does that mean that Joe Biden is not going to be the candidate? I don't know that.
Thing is, there's still time for the party to correct its course, have a brokered convention, and replace the nominee. This is a problem that can still be fixed in the long term. In the short term, however, there's a bigger problem. How can that president you saw on the debate stage prevent his Gaza policy from spiraling into a wider war in the region? Because there are new concerns raised within the Biden administration this week that the president is incapable of stopping this escalation. This is what a Defense Department official told the Huffington Post about the potential of an all-out war breaking out between Israel and Lebanon, the chances of which are higher than ever right now as the Israeli government approved of plans to invade Lebanon, and the two militaries have been lobbing missiles back and forth at each other since Israel launched its campaign in Gaza last October. Quote, "We have let Israel face zero consequences for crossing all of our red lines in Gaza, so they are now emboldened and know they will face no consequences for going into Lebanon, despite us saying, don't go there." At the same time, U.S. intel officials told Politico that Israel is trying to collect additional weaponry for a war against Lebanon, which could break out in a matter of weeks if no ceasefire deal is reached in Gaza. European intel agencies project a more dire situation. This is from Politico. Quote, "Some European countries calculate that a war between Israel and Hezbollah could happen in days. Many have advised their citizens to leave Lebanon. Canada is also preparing to evacuate thousands from the country. The State Department on Thursday issued a travel advisory for U.S. citizens, urging them to strongly reconsider travel to Lebanon." Well, I can say that I'm tormented by the same thoughts everyone else is having this morning after that debate and news like this. It can always get worse. Try to enjoy the weekend, I guess. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.